bit after 2 p.m. and I'm here outside the Senate. So this is where the Senate meets, right here on Wellington. On the other side of me, that's Chateau Laurier, that castle looking thing. And then over there is Parliament Hill. Okay, so that you can see. You know, I'm not even really sure what this building was before. It's obviously been here forever. Is that for me? I don't know. Anyways, I look great. So, you remember my survivor outfit? This is my MMIWG, I'm an erased MMIWG survivor, and this is my statement outfit. In my amazing, very intricate ribbon skirt. Right? You can check out my last protest video if you want to see more about this outfit. So here's my signage for today. Oh yeah, this building, so like, you know how they're doing a reno over at the parliamentary precinct, which is also a cover-up. So then the Senate chamber is in there, right? It's similar to the House of Commons, except it has red chairs instead of green chairs, all that kind of thing. So since the cover-up reno, the Senate meets here at this building, and I don't know whatever it was, before. This is a very busy spot, like Rideau Center, the big mall downtown here is right there. And like the Westin is right over here, and Rogers Center, formerly Shaw Center, is right over here, all that stuff. So security, you see them? Yeah. So security already talked to me about what I'm doing today, and so that's good. And here's my signs. So Senator Audette, I'm going to be making new signs. Senator Audette, stop the cover-up. So that was the sign that I made for when she accepted a fake honorary degree from St. Paul University, not long after they had erased me, sabotaged my research, erased me and tried to genocide me. And then this one, denying justice is denialism. So that sign I made in protest to Leah Gazan's multiple speech police bills, which I'm also opposed to. And if you check my post below, you'll see that I ran into ORC Abram Benedict over at like Queen's Fair, like that food place. I eat there often when I'm down here. They have like actual food that they made. It's amazing, like Lebanese soup or whatever, so good. So anyways, he was there to get something from the Starbucks. That's very near the AFN. The AFN moved from Metcalf Street, but they're somewhere on Queen now. I think in that tower, actually. I think they're up in that, above Queen's Fair in that tower. I'm not certain. Okay, so now I'm gonna read my my press release. Oh yeah, so like I saw Abram Benedict. He knows why I'm here. I explained it to him. I don't know why he's here. I was late today, like it's already after 2, so I didn't want to like spend a lot of time hearing the gaslighting about why he's here instead of the real reason why he's here, which is cahootery. That First Minister's conference meeting is coming up. So then I expect that the national chief and the regional chiefs will be involved in that. Also the Prime Minister and the premiers, whoever it is that decides to attend that is, not all of them actually go. So yeah, he knows why I'm here. Okay, so my press release. It's dated today. Today is the 22nd of April. MMIWG survivor and Migizi media founder protests Senator Michèle Audette's advocacy to add residential school denialism to Bill C9 at the Senate. So Bill C9, the hate speech bill, I forget what they actually call it. Anyways, I haven't really been I haven't been focusing any of my energy on that, although obviously I'm concerned about restrictions on constitutionally protected speech, and I'm also concerned about interfering with peaceful protest. But you know, I'm so busy, and you know, nobody pays me, and I do all this work myself. So I mean, I gotta set my priorities. And so Bill C9 wasn't really on my list until April 14th, recently, when Michèle Audette, who is a complete fraud, a total fake hero, and a genocider in my view, on April 14th, she advocated here in the Senate to add residential school denialism to that Bill C9. And so I'm opposed to that for the same reasons that I'm opposed to Bill C-254 and all speech, all legislation that restricts free speech, especially to cover up the genocide of First Peoples in Canada, okay? So then my press release, I have this, if you're coming by, I have copies of my press release ready to go. I've got some, in regard to Michèle Audette, I've got some previous like posts of previous protests, like for context, printed on the back of this. And then of course they could search me up and find, you know, more details. If they're interested, like Michèle Audette was like my former supervisor, Aurélie Lacassagne, was trying to act as if she's the you know, the choice person to be in charge of the Indigenous funding at St. Paul Fake University and Dangerous Cult. And so then, even though Aurélie Lacassagne was my PhD supervisor and also a committee member on my master's work, and even though she had been friends with me on my Facebook for like 15 years, and even though she had seen all of my posts about, you know, having come out as an MMIWG survivor and advocating for erased survivors since 2002, well before, or sorry, excuse me, I always do that, 2022, well before the fall semester that I started at St. Paul University, which was fall of 2023. She didn't tell me that she invited Michèle Audette, who was, you know, commissioner of, one of the commissioners, I think, on the fake National Inquiry into MMIWG, you know, murder and missing, the fake inquiry on murder and missing women and Indigenous women and girls. And, you know, also Michèle Audette was president of NWAC for a time and all this kind of thing, right? So Aurélie Lacassagne, you know, didn't inform me of that kind of stuff. I didn't find out until it was publicly posted, just like everybody else. If you check out some of my recent posts, I had reposted. I did attend that talk, and I absolutely asked Senator Audette a poignant question regarding the MMIWG genocide and the cover-up, of which she is well informed, and participating in the cover-up of. Also, she's here. The cover-up she's working on in here is, of course, the Indian residential school genocide. So then, and then after they had sabotaged my research and then erased me from my classes for having complained of racism, and after Aurélie Lacassagne wouldn't respond to any of my emails and refused to advocate for me, and even though she took a leave of absence and a fake job as rectrice up at Université de Hearst so that she could, you know, avoid being dean of the faculty while they finished the erasure. After all that, Michèle Audette accepted a fake honorary degree last summer at St. Paul University, fake university and dangerous cult. So it's totally outrageous. Hi, can I help you?
Yes, just make sure to don't turn the camera around where the constable are, please.
I can't film the entrance here?
Because we're out there, we don't want to be filmed.
Okay, but is it illegal?
It's not illegal.
So you can ask me not to, and that's
yes.
it?
No, just if you're nice.
If I'm nice. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to end this and point it in a different direction. Okay, so I'm back. It's not illegal to film them at the Senate right over there. I'm still in the same spot. I just turned my camera this way. And although it's not illegal to film the entrance of the Senate, these security people are saying that they don't, they're too embarrassed to have their faces shown on camera, and they're too ashamed to be, you know, part of it, to be standing outside while this cover-up is going on inside. So camera's facing this way now. Okay. So today, Migizi media founder and MMIWG survivor Dana Hickey is protesting outside the Senate of Canada against Senator Michèle Audette's specific advocacy to insert residential school denialism into Bill C-9, the Combating Hate Act. So with debate on the bill possibly resuming today, this is an opportunity to make a stand for free speech and against the erasure of MMIWG survivors. I'm just going to move my camera because Canadians are trying to see my signs and my stuff's in the way. Everybody loves a good sign, chums. Everybody. Okay. So with debate on the bill possibly resuming today, this is an opportunity to make this stand for free speech and against the erasure of MMIWG survivors. I am here today because Senator Michèle Audette is personally pushing to criminalize speech through Bill C-9, said MMIWG survivor Dana Hickey. This is the same pattern of erasure I have experienced for over 2 years. I spoke directly with Senator Audette at the AFM Assembly in Montreal. That was what, like 2 years ago? Something like that. She knew that I am an erased MMIWG survivor, yet she still spoke at St. Paul University. I explained that, in that previous video, but I'll stitch them together. So I spoke directly to Senator Audette in Montreal. I told her I'm a survivor. I told her they're erasing me, the whole bit. I told her about, that I'm working on this cover up, which of course she is well informed, as all these leadership understand what I mean when I talk about the cover up. So I spoke to her directly at the AFM Assembly in Montreal. She knew that I am an erased MMIWG survivor, yet she still spoke at St. Paul University and accepted an honorary degree from this dangerous cult that has systematically erased and dehumanized me, an MMIWG survivor. She had the chance to stand up for survivors like me, and she chose not to. This protest builds directly on Dana Hickey's previous action against NDP MP Leah Gazan's anti-speech bill C-254, which sought to amend the criminal code to criminalize statements that condone, deny, downplay, or justify the Indian residential school system. Bill C-9, now before the Senate, is being used by some senators, including Audette, to achieve the same goal of silencing debate on the Canadian history of genocide. Criminalizing so-called denialism does not protect survivors. It protects a narrative at the expense of truth and free expression, Dana Hickey continued. As an MMIWG survivor myself, I demand the right to speak without fear of prosecution. Senator Audette knows who I am and what I have endured. Her advocacy for this amendment, while ignoring my lived experience of institutional erasure, is unacceptable. Dana Hickey calls on senators to reject any amendment that would add residential schools denialism to Bill C-9 or expand hate speech provisions in ways that stifle legitimate historical discussion. Free speech is not hate. Truth-seeking is not denial. So then that's pretty much it. I'll be here for the next couple of hours. And yeah, that's pretty well it. Stop the cover up. I'll let you know if anything happens. Have a good day, chums, and thanks for watching. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So to understand the Missing and Murdered Indigenous and Women and Girls Commission in the report, that is something that you say...
It's fake.
Okay. And C-9, there should be no amendment to include denialism.
No, because it's constitutionally protected speech, and I'm opposed to criminalizing Canadians for asking perfectly reasonable questions that families and survivors have had for my entire life. I'll be 48 in June.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sure.
Bye now. So who knows what she was going to say? People are trained on how to interfere with protests and with people who speak out. who knows what she would have said if I hadn't turned on my video, but she's gone inside now into the Senate. So that makes me think that, you know, I mean, she was wearing a beaded brooch, and she also had like some kind of like indigenous style scarf. And so then, you know, she said what she said because I had my video on. Who knows what she would have said if I hadn't had it on. Thanks. That's the update. Any more people want to interfere with my protest? Happy to document that.